Yeah, man. So I ordered a mic about 10 days ago, and I'm starting to feel like the guy scammed me because it still hasn't come. So, anyways, these are the worst top 15 fighters in the UFC. You're gonna have to live with my mic for a little while longer. Um, Listen, unlike you guys who just watch the highlights on TikTok, I've come to a conclusion, and it's that the UFC rankings are a social experiment. They have to be because there's no other explanation for why some of these guys are still occupying space in the top 15 while actual talent is fighting for peanuts on the early prelims. So today we're exposing the frauds. We're going through every division from the midgets to the behemoths and identifying the one fighters who's holding onto their rankings for dear life despite being terrible. Alright, we're gonna start at 125, the toddler division, with Tim Elliott. Bro, how is this guy still ranked? He's been in the UFC since the Jurassic Park period. His entire fighting style can be described in this image to the right. He doesn't have a single polished skill in his arsenal. He just runs around with his shin in the air, shoots a takedown that'll probably fail, and then he tries to wrap your neck in some weird choke he learned from a YouTube tutorial. He's a gatekeeper, and if you lose to him in 2026, like you should be legally required to hand over your fight purse to the fans who paid for the tickets. Like he's actually terrible. I don't know how he's in the UFC. He will even tell this to you himself. Anyways, next up, I don't know why the pictures are like this, but it's Kyler Phillips. Listen, his nickname is the Matrix, and I think he's stuck in the Matrix because he's a glitch. Like, why is he in the UFC? Like, why is he in the rankings? He has the shortest attention span in MMA. For like 4 minutes of every fight, he looks like a world-class fighter. And then after 4 minutes, it's like a switch goes off and he just gasses out like Tai Tuivasa in a buffet. And in the third round, he's basically a heavy bag with a cool haircut. So he looks kind of cool on posters. But after the fourth minute of every fight, he just sucks. So that's kind of... He's not the worst fighter, but the bantamweight division is kind of stacked, so he is the worst of them. And featherweight, we have the Bellator legend himself, Patricio Pitbull. I know fake hardcore fans are ready to send me death threats, but let's be honest, he's a 38-year-old, 5'6" guy on a good day. And how is he in the UFC top 15? Like, I think he was ranked before he even had a win in the UFC. Like, he should be in a museum. Like, maybe he looked good in Bellator in the 1990s. But in 2026, man, I don't know how he's ranked. I think he beat Dan Ige in like a terrible decision. And that's the only thing he's done. And somehow he's ranked in the featherweight division. It doesn't make sense to me. But in the lightweight division, I think we all know who's going to be here. It's Mr. CU at the top, Michael Chandler, who has single-handedly held up the most exciting division in the sport for a fight that is never happening. Chandler doesn't fight to win. He fights to get a bonus so he can pay for more motivational posters. Like, his strategy is literally to explode, miss, get tired, and at the end do a backflip. I mean, the last time he won a fight, most of you guys were still not even in high school, and yet he's still in the top 15. He's won like 2 fights in the UFC, and he's lost, I think, 5. And the combined record of the people he beat was like 0 wins and 14 losses or something. Like, he's actually... How is he still ranked? It doesn't make any sense to me. In 170, we have D-Rod. Listen, I've seen more head movement from a rock than Daniel Rodriguez. Like, he's the guy that the UFC wants to make sure a prospect is a highlight reel knockout. They give him Daniel Rodriguez. He just walks forward in a straight line, eating jabs, and he has no footwork at all. He's Mexican, so he's tough. And I think he was just in prison for like a while. I don't know if that's fake news or not, but that's what I heard. And somehow he's in the UFC top 15. I don't know how he's here, but man, he lost to Neil Magny like 2 years ago. I don't know. Listen, for middleweights, if you have insomnia, put on a Roman Dolidze fight. Now this guy has aura. Like in the pictures, like in pictures like this, he looks like a top 5 pound for pound fighter. But like the next minute, he'll be getting choked out like this by Anthony Hernandez, and he just doesn't do anything in his fights. Sometimes he looks really good in grappling, but most of the time, at least in striking, he just looks absolutely terrible. And against Anthony Hernandez, he got dog walked for 15 minutes. It looked really bad, and he's the worst top 15 fighter in the middleweight division. For light heavyweight, it's Alonzo Menifield. Now he's the ultimate first 2 minute champion. If the fights lasted 100 and like if the fights lasted for 2 minutes, he would be the GOAT of the sport. Like he would be undisputed champion. But unfortunately for him, fights are 15 minutes, and after the first 2 minutes, it looks like he's breathing underwater because he has the fuel tank of a AAA battery. Now, watching him throw a punch in the third round is like, you know, when YouTube you can slow down the speed to like half the speed or 0.25x speed. That's basically what it looks like watching him fight in the third round. I think he's only ranked because half the division is either injured or in jail, and that's the only reason he's ranked in that division. Now, for the heavyweight division, we have everyone that's not in the top 5. Anyone ranked 6 to 15 is just a guy who was tall and big and happened to be in the right place at the right time. Because most of these guys, they're just unfit. They look like refrigerators. They gas out during their walkouts. And after the first 2 minutes, they just look like shit. I think if you want to be in the heavyweight division in the UFC, like you can easily be a top 6 to top 15 fighter. Not top, but from like number 6 to number 15 ranked fighter in the UFC heavyweight division, as long as you're big. I think that's the only criteria. And it's the shittiest division in the UFC. Nothing good happens here. It's the shittiest division. Now, if you enjoyed this video, like, subscribe, all that. See you with the new mic soon.